Yes, sir. Hello. Finally.
Yeah.
So, just had a few questions.
Yeah.
So, to begin with, I wanted to talk about Bhagat Singh since you've worked a lot on Bhagat Singh. There's a it is a period of social unrest where people are dissatisfied with the political regime and everything around it. Um, and in these times, I see many people evoking Bhagat Singh, talking a lot about him, and it feels that he's been reduced to a few slogans like or a poster figure, a tote bag figure, and this makes him very sensational also. So I was wondering, how do we understand his ideas and ideologies beyond this sensationalism?
No, my own engagement with Bhagat Singh is actually on this particular issue because I found Bhagat Singh being reduced to a poster figure and being seen merely as a nationalist or a shaheed, a martyr, which he was certainly, but uh, that is just a half truth. That is not the complete picture of the man. For us in today's India, first of all, nationalism is not needed. You need patriotism. Nationalism was required when you were fighting against the British. It's okay. Today we confuse nationalism with patriotism. You need to be patriots. You need to be devoted to your country and the cause of your country. But anyway, we do it otherwise. So when Bhagat Singh was struggling, he was trying to make a sense of India in its diversity, and not only diversity in terms of religious diversity, cultural diversity, diversity as citizens of this country, diversity of economic diversity, how people, rich and poor, the differences between the rich and poor were the gaps were huge. So these were the concerns which he raised again and again. Now, what is happening today is that all these questions are very difficult to handle, and people find that nationalism and martyrdom is enough because that is very convenient. We remember him on 23rd March or 28th September on his birthday, and then forget for the whole year, and then invoke him again when the dates come. So this is what we are doing, and all of us across political parties find it very convenient. But the truth is that he stood for an alternative model of India. For him, freedom was not just replacement of the British with the with a set of people who are Indians, but who actually believe in the same ideals, same policies, except for the color of the skin. Everything else is same. So that's what he wrote. Also, we don't need mere change of regime where only Indians come and rule. We also need a change of framework.
Yes.
What is going to be the uh, the idea of India? What sort of India we are going to build after independence? And for him, that India should be plural, uh, composite, where all religions, all castes, all communities find a space. It should be an India where the gap between rich and poor is reduced, not immediately, but attempts should be made to reduce that gap, which is a gap which was always there and which actually grew, been more stark during the British rule in 200 years. So he wanted that 98% Indians should have participation in governance, not just 2% rich. And this he wrote in his Naujawan Bharat Sabha manifesto. He repeated that in other writings as well. So for us who really want to believe that we should follow what Bhagat Singh left behind, he left behind a revolutionary legacy which we don't care to remember. He didn't leave behind the legacy of martyrdom alone. So respect martyrdom, but pursue the ideals he has left behind. Yes. Which we are not doing. Yeah. And which we need to do.
Exactly. I agree. So, following this tangent, also, I feel that when since we are also talking about how Bhagat Singh criticized the Indian society and there were many wrongs which are still continuing today.
Yeah.
I feel in general also when there is any sort of criticism against any dominant ideology that there are a lot of direct attacks, baseless attacks also, and in this period specifically, we are living in a day and age where we are inundated with lots of information. So, and you've also mentioned scientific temper.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
talked about it. So, I was wondering how can we cultivate scientific temper in nav- so that we can navigate this environment.
You see, I've, I've been I've written about scientific temper in the context of Bhagat Singh as well, because to begin with Bhagat Singh and to come to issues later on, like Bhagat Singh in his essay, "Why am an atheist?" That essay was not just questioning the existence of God, which it did because it is reflected in the title itself, but it it also dealt with questions of rational thinking, of ability to question everything, of not following the tradition inherited from the past, not even accepting the leadership of anybody without questioning or without understanding what the person stands for, and he's doing that in the context of Mahatma Gandhi at that time. He said you need to critically analyze what you are going to follow, and this is a lesson for people today that you just can't follow any leader, without understanding what actually he stands for. Blindly go ahead and say yes to everything. So he emphasized that we need to be critical. We need to question. The ability to question should be promoted. That is part of a rational thinking process. And because Singh stressed that, and this is something which brought him close to Nehru. Nehru believed in scientific temper, as we will talk later on, and he believed in rational thinking. He believed in gender equality, and both Bhagat Singh and Nehru, Bhagat Singh being a young, a young person at that time, but despite that, they came close to each other because they believed in so many things which were common in their thinking process. So scientific temper for me, as I see it, is not just limited to science. People who do science, that is actually looking at scientific temper in a very narrow terms. We need to broaden the definition and include rational thinking. The scientific temper includes what? Scientific temper includes rational thinking, ability to question, critical appreciation of everything, and not accepting anything without using your brain, your mind. So stress on mind, stress on thinking is essential. So, and which is required not only by those who work in the laboratories with science, it is required for historians as well, for for homemakers, women at home. They have to take decisions very rationally. It is expected that you take decisions in your life, of your home, um, rationally, uh, and not follow everything blindly. Be religious, but don't believe in superstitions. No, I have no issues. You want to be religious, okay, fine. But religion should not take you to be superstitious or to believe in things which actually are totally against rational thinking. So for scientific temper, for me and for most of the people who talk about it, is just this.
It makes sense, honestly, because so uh, exactly as you said, scientific temper means critical thinking. And today, because in the education system at the very least, syllabus is being changed rapidly. In science, syllabus is changed, Darwinism is cut, periodic table is cut, and in history, Mughals history is deleted. So where would you place scientific temper today in education and also in nationalism?
In education, in education today, scientific temper actually has occupies hardly any space. You have everything is being done at by diminishing scientific temper, by diminishing rational thinking. Because if you stop, like take for example, history teaching, history writing. Now, when you talk about history, you have to be like there is a scientific way. What is that scientific way of understanding history? Scientific way is that you have a critical appreciation of what you are going to do about the past. You cannot pursue history which is based on selective your prejudices, already preconceived ideas about the past.
Mm.
And then you cannot telescope your present into the past,
Yeah.
because that is what is being done today. This is totally unscientific. You just cannot telescope the present concerns, political concerns, social concerns, religious concerns, cultural concerns into the past, because past is an alien world.
There's no
Past is a
objective
different world.
analysis.
No, you can't carry that into your present into the past. That's what we are doing again and again. That's why we are facing all sorts of problems. The issue is that you need to understand the past in the context of the period, whether it is ancient, medieval, or modern. And we cannot follow the model which the British left behind. James Mill's History of India, where he talks about Muslim India, Muslim history, Hindu history, and British history.
Yes.
So that is the model which we followed, and which communalized the whole idea of looking at the past into Hindu, Muslim, and British period, not Christian period.
Yeah.
No? So this is something which we inherited, which we got as a legacy from the historians who wrote colonial history, and there are a large number of them, and many historians in India as well followed that model. So that is a very unscientific way of looking at the past. When we want to look at the past, then the idea is that you locate your concerns, your questions of history which you want to raise in the context of the period you are looking at, and stop using the present as a as a model. So there is something very convenient which we people want to do, because past will not answer all your questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Past, we can analyze the past to perhaps understand our
Then
present.
then you don't have to actually past many things you have to unlearn from the past.
Yes, exactly.
So many things you can't salvage all the past. Many things in the past are totally irrelevant today.
Yes,
They
exactly.
need to be rubbished. You just can't, and well, you just can't do that. That you carry that all those things which we don't need in today's India, today's world, and that's what we are doing all the
Yeah.
time, bringing in all sorts of things which actually have no place in today's world.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like
Yeah,
even reduction of critical thinking is also a
yeah,
very political act,
absolutely.
so that we're not able to think for ourselves and
Yeah,
therefore not use scientific temper,
right.
which is often seen in religious conversation as well.
Yeah,
Because as like this is the popular notion, right, that the science and religion are very different, and science is cold and rational, and religion is more to do with your daily life, and it's about faith. And so has there ever been a point where science and religion have coincided, or even mythologies have coincided with science?
see, science and religion. See, this conflict is also, I don't believe in this conflict, because
Okay.
this conflict is raised by those who actually want to believe in religious superstitions,
Yeah.
and not faith, because these can be two compartments, science and religion. If you go back into history, even in ancient history, large number of people who pursued science, astronomy, mathematics, physics, chemistry, geometry, whatever, or even medicine, most of them were believers.
Yeah.
Most of them, whether it was they were Hindu or probably Muslim or Christian. Newton was a believer.
Okay.
You know, you go to Aryabhatta, he was a believer. He didn't say anywhere that he is not a believer. Look at the large number of men of science in the Islamic world who are part of the scientific thinking in Islam, 300 years. 99% of them were believers,
Yeah.
but they did not believe in superstitions. They
Yes.
believed in faith. They had faith in Quran. They had faith in God or whatever. But they believed that God also told them to use their brain to pursue worldly knowledge.
Yes.
You know? See, when when and I've used it in my other writings as well. When Prophet says that you have to pursue knowledge, even to the extent of traveling to a place as far away as China.
Okay.
What does it mean? It means that you there was no Islam in China, there were no madrasas, there was no faith, there was no Islam. But even then, the Prophet believed that China has knowledge which should be pursued by people who need to pursue worldly knowledge.
There's no
So,
dearth to knowledge.
so the point is that pursuit of knowledge is not just based on what the Shastras and Upanishads and our texts, religious texts say, or Quran, what Quran says, or what Bible says. All these texts actually inspire you, human beings, to pursue knowledge.
Yeah.
They are not scientific texts on their own.
Yes.
Those who want to see science in Quran, science in all these classical texts are misunderstanding, misreading.
Yes.
So, so this conflict between science and religion actually is should not be pursued very much. And all those who don't believe in any religion, I have no issues with them. I am also one of them. But I don't believe that you need to create a conflict to understand both science and religion. Because you have examples where people have been rational despite being religious. You know, people like Abdul Salam, the Nobel laureate
Okay.
of Pakistan. I've heard him speak in 1983, and whenever he used to begin his lecture, and there used to be transparencies in those times, overhead projector and all that, he used to begin with Bismillah Rahman Rahim, begin in the name of God. And but that was the end of his religion.
Yeah.
Then he is doing physics after that.
Okay. There is no conflict as such. I
So,
agree.
so if you can be a Nobel laureate with your faith in place, then why raise issues? The point is when you compromise science by, by, by practicing superstitions in the name of religion, any religion for that matter, then it causes problem.
Yeah.
Problem for both science as well as religion.
Yeah, I agree. And religion has often been politicized by
Yeah.
god men, by
Yeah,
political
yeah.
figures.
Today, like in India, I don't think any other country has such a huge galaxy of godmen.
Yeah.
Like it used to happen in earlier times, a couple of centuries ago, and what people have moved away from all those practices. But we are actually, unfortunately, going back to them.
Yeah, I mean,
So that is something. This is something which need to question, and this is not scientific at all.
exactly. It is not scientific at all. It does not follow
And
scientific
and
temper.
this is not religion also.
Yes, yes.
So when you raise this issue, all these godmen, so many of them, they are not actually pursuing religion. They are pursuing all sorts of superstitions, spreading superstitions in the name of faith.
Yeah. They're creating fear.
They're creating fear, and so that harms not only science, it harms the faith they are practicing.
I agree because I think currently, I mean, we've all had moments in our life where
Yeah,
we've felt hopeless and we've all wanted to have a central base for our thoughts. And I think religion works that way for many people.
yeah,
And I think that is also where God men step in.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They use people's adversity
Yes, exactly.
to and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I agree completely. And speaking of science again, so today there's also rapid technological advancement, right? And there is a lot of people are using AI, and there's a lot of talk about AI, and there are also many negative points attached to because it raises questions about the dangers to the environment since a lot of water is used to cool down data centers, and there's also this issue about a breach of privacy. So I was wondering how can this development take place while keeping in mind the needs of the people, the daily lives of the people, so that it is not, so that their sanctity of their life is not breached.
See, these are all these are all concerns of people uh, who are who have whose needs are all fulfilled.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, are not searching for bread every day
Yeah.
or employment or even other needs of daily needs in life. They have to struggle every day. For them, AI is not a major issue, and it's not their concern. AI is a concern of those who have access to all sorts of new technologies, which we are just talking about. Most of the people from poorer sections of society who are getting into it, they are getting into it more for fun, more for
Okay.
an attraction. Something new has come in, and you want to
Yeah.
do it. Now, what sort of benefit it's going to bring to society? I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
In any case, I'm not an expert on this. But when we see, and I've read reports which you also talked about just now, the usage of water,
Yeah.
like in a like reading somewhere, huge data centers are being, I think in West Asia somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe in India as well,
Yeah.
where there is scarcity of water already,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
and water levels have gone down, and these centers consume
Lots of water.
huge amount of water. So, so what's going to happen? What in what way are they going to help the people who need water and
Exactly.
who actually travel far away to get water to drink?
Hmm.
So, in countries like this, where all these needs are not fulfilled, AI is a I, I can't dismiss it. You know, it has
Yeah.
its own place.
I agree.
But in a society like India or parts of Africa or parts of other countries of Asia, where people need so much else than AI,
Yeah.
there this debate looks so meaningless. You know,
I agree because
I,
in general, development does not, I think, take into account the lives of the
uh,
marginalized people who are living there.
absolutely.
So, was very confused about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And then it has just come in. You know, let us
Hmm.
see how it goes and what all it was. It is surely going to cause confusion. I find it very confusing. You know, you see something and you many times don't even realize whether
AI on it.
it really happened like that, or it is just a creation of AI.
Yeah.
Many things. So this is going to cause. And then another thing for a country like India, it is taking away employment of large number of people.
Exactly.
Now, in a country like India, where you need where there are so many hands uh, which need work,
Yeah.
you can't use technology like this. There's a problem.
Yeah. It is being used a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
excess.
So, like artists are being threatened by this.
Yeah.
Designers, artists, you know, all sorts of people who have been working. So most of the publishers, you know, they don't need any designer or artist because they just use AI and create whatever they want.
Exactly.
So it is good for one way, but it is not so good if you look at it this way. You know,
Yeah. There has to be a balance.
yeah,
I agree.
it's a problem.
Yeah. Also, since you're an academic yourself,
Yeah.
I'm fairly new to this. I'm just starting my journey, but I've been hearing this criticism. I don't know if it is correct or not. That academics talk about marginalized communities in a very flowery language, and that language is not even understood by them, which prevents conversation or any sort of rational discussion from going beyond that specific academic circle. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on it.
Uh, See, academic activity is not a very popular activity. I think it's a very you know I should not say that all academics have that capability or that concern to
Hmm.
look at people's issues. But all those who who are motivated by such causes, they do write for people. They do write in simple languages. They do speak in their languages. They do try to reach out to them,
Yes.
to people who need to learn lots of things which normally is not available to them. So, and then see, academics is a vocation of the privileged. You know,
Okay.
people who can afford to sit down and read and write. You know, so it's okay, or teachers for that matter.
Mm.
But and not all teachers, all academics have that concern that they should reach out to common people in their language, the language they understand, whatever subject they they pursue. So I don't think it should be held against academics. I don't think so, because such things, such concerns you can find in so many disciplines. You know, not everybody feels motivated or concerned to reach out to people and raise uh, issues in the language or in the manner in which people can everybody can understand.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree.
that's a
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, I was
yeah,
thinking
well,
about it.
yeah,
It is a rather strict indictment against
yeah,
against academics, because, and it is also, I mean subjects like history and English and all of these subjects, they're also science in itself, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I get it. I get what you mean.
Yeah,
These are all the questions I had. Thank you so
good,
much for
good.
taking all the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.